This is Avgi Maria.
Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else. Thank you for watching the Avgi Maria show. It's again those days of the year that everyone is making her own review of the year, trying mostly to erase the bad moments and to keep the good ones and move on to the next year. What can we say, though, about 2020? It was a year that changed the normality as we knew it. Nothing will be the same again, and in some cases, is a good thing that changed, at least for me. Did the students learn their lesson, or they just are waiting for the new freedom to start all over again? And I'm saying freedom and not normality because I don't know how normal we can be after all that. All those months we are listening that heavy industry of Greece, the tourism, suffered for irreparable damage. The contribution of tourism in GDP is 20%, and the total contribution in the employment is 21%. Our guest is the owner at Authentic Greece, Med Diet, local products and destination, and also the co-founder at FLATOD-19, flexible tourism destinations. And I will add another one, Mr. Statistics, DIMITRIS VASSILIOU. Thank you for your presence here today. Hello, hello, hello.
Good morning.
It's so nice
for
when
you.
We have friends.
It's a good morning for you, isn't it? I mean, it's afternoon in Greece, but it's something like 11 o'clock in the morning there, I assume.
It is. Hello,
nice
hello.
to meet you there. Nice to see you again.
So
many new things. To be honest, everybody has suffered from what happened in 2020, but I'm not that keen to say that was a disaster all over. I mean, financially speaking, it was a disaster indeed. But I think, at least for me, it was another year of great lessons. I think I had 5 years to live that, a year full of lessons. And they are not nice lessons. It's a secret in life. The lessons are only the bad ones. So I mean, Greece suffered, my company suffered, everybody through the lockdown suffered in terms of freedom, many people, especially in the States, not that much in Greece, lost their lives. The challenges are ahead of us; they're not behind us, and we'll have a lot to say about what's going to happen in the Greek tourism sector, what happened the last year, and what is going to happen this year. Overall, I would say I'm not that very optimistic, and because there are so many, I'm not that much. Okay.
I know.
I love statistics, as you know.
I know.
And I love operational research and logistics, and the mathematics of the thing are not with us. The mathematics are against, the odds are against us. That's the overall picture. New things, I mean, more normal things, will happen, but normality as we used to live it in 19, no way.
Yeah,
That's the initial comment. Okay, now we can say as many things as you want. Where to start from? FLATOD, tourism, authentic, Greek products, whatever. Make your choice.
Okay, I was observing your post on Facebook platform, and you were saying all the time that it will be a mistake, the opening of the borders for the travelers this summer, the previous summer, and you were right. So why you knew it and they didn't take it so seriously, the foreign people?
Okay, there were two. To start with, we didn't say not to open tourism. We say to open tourism in a different way. I mean, you cannot have a strong lockdown for 12 months or so. You can have a very strong lockdown for a short period of time. By the way, we call it a lockdown in Greece now, but it's not a lockdown, to be honest. If you when somebody has to talk about lockdown, it's the Chinese way or nothing at all. Okay.
Wow.
And anything else is just trying to reshuffle the rules. Now the thing is that
really now you believe that is the only lockdown that it will work?
Definitely. Otherwise, don't call it lockdown. Don't do the lockdown thing, and try to do something else. What we're saying is that a very important issue is that I was not alone. I'm part of a 10-strong team with 7 disciplines all over the world, with people from Asia, living in Asia, working there, and they gave us the insights from the very beginning how difficult the thing would be. And the second thing is that because we have doctors, 4 doctors in my team, and tourism experts and mathematicians, and etc., we approached it, say, not the mathematics way, but with the operational research way. I mean, we took into account the logistics. As one of my friends say, you can have one pregnant woman to give birth to a child in 9 months, but you cannot have 9 pregnant women to give birth in 1 month to a child. You cannot have it. So there are so many, and still with a vaccine, there are so much logistics involved, and the logistics by definition are the enemy. I mean, you cannot combine things before you wish things to be combined. Okay, so what we promoted the bubbles in tourism within the destinations. We proposed because it's always a matter of budget. Somebody said that we should have tested everybody coming in the country. You don't have the budget to do that.
That's impossible.
You cannot do it. And what we said is once people are in the country, when they come, with whatever conditions you could achieve in terms of testing, etc., the important thing would be to keep them in bubbles within their destinations. So we colored as you remember, the bubbles, and we made a proposal associating hotels with local restaurants. So not everybody would be able to go anywhere within the destination.
Exactly.
And this would have a great advantages, but it needs a lot of work, enough time to plan, and the country, I'm not sure, at least Greece, I don't know about other countries, but Greece is not very keen to work as a whole country, very organized, with strong corporations, etc. So the whole thing, could not be followed by the state, the Greek state at least. That was the last summer's adventure, and we don't think that this summer is going to be much better, to be honest, because again we have last year we had the test logistics. This year we have the vaccines logistics. So you cannot have it with a pill. Say, okay, you take a pill and everything goes right. It's not the way life works in anything. I mean, in our families, with our kids. I mean, life does not work like that. Sorry, I didn't make the rules.
That's true. So the proposal basically is to check the tourist from the minute he's in the country and
to check as much as possible
destination, so we can trade all his contacts after.
You will be able to trace your contracts much easier. Our philosophical difference is that we have to take for granted that the freedom we used to have some couple of years ago until 2019, it's impossible to have this degree of freedom, at least in tourism, but maybe overall, for the coming years. It's entirely impossible. Now, it's a question, how much freedom? 90% of 19? 82%? 73%? That much I don't know. But what I do know is 100% freedom to the extent we have it in 19. We will not have it in 21, maybe in 22, and we'll see. And it will depend on many things. Yeah.
They say about 24, but that number is something that, make people afraid.
Definitely. When I said the freedom, degree of freedom, I didn't mean in tourism. In tourism, it will be a very late process. I meant in everyday life. I mean.
So who's going to be traveling then? And who traveled this summer?
Okay, the people that traveled in previous summer, it was some European countries to Greece, in some hot destinations by airplane, and mainly in all-inclusive five-star resorts. People that they felt that the situation was under control where they were staying. So they had the option not to go outside the hotel. Of course, there were other options as well, especially in the Aegean Islands. But where these exceptions were implemented, we had major problems. And you remember what happened in Cyclades, Mykonos, Santorini, Paros, etc. last summer. But in Crete, Rhodos, Kos, etc., the very strong weapons of our tourism sector, because they are places, destinations with very big all-inclusive resorts. They welcomed a sufficient number of tourists, say 30% of 19 roughly, and with not major outbreaks. So if this year we are looking for something more than this 30%, we think that the vaccines themselves, it's not going to be the answer. We need additional measures to control the whole thing, and to attract people as well, because people will be afraid. There will be poorer than other years, etc. So there are many new challenges to be resolved.
So the campaign state of mind worked, because for me, I don't know. I don't want to be nasty, but it wasn't so spectacular. I mean, if you see that spot, you will feel safe to go. Something, you have any information?
You know that I was a very strong opponent of this campaign, and I was talking yesterday with a friend of mine who was supporting the campaign, and in communication terms, the campaign was really nice. In terms of communication, okay? But in terms of overall marketing, I mean, ignoring the product, say, it was fine. Ignoring the product, it was fine.
Can you ignore the product though?
Yeah, you cannot ignore the availability of the product. The tourism product was not available, and the campaign was ignoring that, because we didn't know what to expect as a country in terms of the virus itself. So we ignored that part. We thought that everything would be fine for the rest of the year. We made the political decision that there will be no new lockdown. And we thought that everything, I mean, to be honest, it was not only Greece's opinion that. I mean, most of the European countries.
We didn't felt all these restrictions, at least as we had them here in New York. You were very free.
Yeah, to be honest, summer and sun make you behave differently. Okay, we have to admit that. If you do not have the German discipline, say, and you say, and it's July, and people have the feeling that they can go to the beach or to the bar and drink, etc. It's impossible to control the situation if the people do not have the feeling that the police will arrest them immediately. Okay, you cannot. I mean, you saw what happened in Spain. The same thing. in most of Italy, because everybody was feeling this freedom, this need for freedom. Okay? So, as I said, the same thing. This year, we seem to be more cautious. Okay, I see that the government here in Greece and in other countries, Mediterranean countries, our tourism opponents say they are far more cautious this year, despite the fact that the vaccine is almost in place, or at least in the horizon.
As you posted before, until the last one get the vaccine and be sure that he had it, the first one will need again to do the second vaccination.
Second dose, the second vaccination, because we tend to ignore the vaccine process, because the vaccine process, it's not just the one dose and then the second dose and that's it. I mean, there's an immunity for some months. We don't know how many, but say 9 months, 12 months. But after 12 months, the whole process has to be repeated, and by the time that the last part of the population will be vaccinated, the first part of the population will have to do it. And to be honest, what our doctors and our communication people of the team are afraid of, it's that because there's a possibility that people who have done the vaccine they could say transfer the disease without having the symptoms themselves, there is a good chance that people with the vaccine will transmit the disease without having any worries themselves how to behave, because they will feel safe themselves. So there are many challenges that we have to persuade people. We have to persuade people for different things.
Yes, that's true.
So it's not.
We have work to do. So as it seems, the Greeks are not the only ones that they don't behave properly. According to Professor Nicholas Christakis from Yale University, in Guardian, he said that in 2024, people will be looking desperately for social contacts. They will spend more money, and it will be an invasion in the religiousness, and also we will see sexual liberation. The pattern will be the same with those one in the past, both in financial and human behavior level. And it was a really entertaining post that you had after this interview from the professor. So what's going to come after all that?
To start with, Christakis knows what he's talking about, generally speaking. His book is, he is well known, his book Connected is well known book, and he studied the social interrelationship more than anybody else. To be honest, when the whole thing with the virus started, I was not, I mean, we had understood what would happen, but I mean, I would like, this bad situation, I would like it to be, say, among us on the planet for a little while, to teach us a lesson, to be honest. I mean, for the whole of 5 previous years, I was very much arguing with people how sustainable was the world that we have built. Now, the problem is that the whole thing went out of control completely. So this made not only too many, unfortunately, dead people, but many more desperate people. And the desperate people, when they are looking at their freedom at the end of the tunnel, they will definitely, Christakis is right. They will face the next day, if we can have a next day, like the last day of the universe, the last day of the world. So there is, I'm afraid that there is no lesson that will be taught to nobody. That's my feeling. I see what's happening during holidays. I mean, people are buying things like, there is no
You
21.
mentioned the traffic in
It's unbelievable. It's
main
unbelievable.
road. Hmm.
There's no lockdown. Definitely, there's no lockdown. I mean, when in May, because we have studied a lot of the big players in East Asia and Germany, etc. The German chief doctor or president of a union of the doctors in Germany said in May that if we don't finish with the virus by June, we will not be able to control the people during a second outbreak, because they will have no fear actually after they survived the first outbreak. And that is exactly what happened. The people that survived the first, us, everybody, that we survived, in the States is a different thing, because of our lockdown, very, say, good, nice lockdown, a more proper lockdown, we survived easily the first phase, the first outbreak, and so we had no fear for the second outbreak, and that's what we're paying now. There's nobody staying at home. I mean, it's unbelievable, in Athens at least.
Even though we are facing a pandemic, there are many people that they deny to accept it, as you said, and they have created an unbelievable number of conspiracy theories. People are fighting, people don't want to vaccine. Where all this will lead? We will fight each other in the end.
Yeah, definitely. That's for sure. That's the only thing. In we have say it's a lifestyle. I believe it's a lifestyle war, because the people they don't want to decide either to do the vaccine themselves or not to do the vaccine themselves, but everybody wants the other people to do or not to do the vaccine, which is amazing. I mean, it's not any personal option anymore. It's a lifestyle option for the whole of the world, and there will be fun in front of us, because there will be so many logistic choices, but also there are so many paradoxes. See, in Africa, we don't have that big outbreaks of the pandemics, and they don't have that much need of a vaccine. So again, it's a rich man, say,
The
pandemic.
lifestyle, as you said so
Yeah.
many times. That's
Yeah, it's a lifestyle issue, because you saw there are countries, say, in the world, say Taiwan, okay, which is not Korea or something, or China. Taiwan, it's a normal, say, Western-like old country, but it's not at all Western-like. And they have coped with the pandemics, having learned the lesson from SARS-2. They have coped with the pandemics without a single day lockdown, because their lifestyle, the lifestyle that brings the community first, not the person first, because it's also a religious thing for them. The same thing happens to an extent in Korea. I have friends there. My colleagues in the FLATOD team live in Korea, and they've give us stories about how people there behave, not selflessness, without any selflessness, yes, but not that much desperate for freedom and choices that we have it in the
characteristic. It's the
Yeah.
Greek characteristic, this. So,
But it's amazing.
yeah, IATA press release, November 26. We've seen this. International air traffic, though, is only expected to return to about 25% of 2019 level by summer 2021. In the research from Minhaus for the European Travel Committee, they interviewed 25,000 European travelers, and that they also show that the 54% in October of people that they wanted to travel reduced in 49% in November. Only 1 in 5 travelers are thinking to travel until January 2021. So what's the plan B? What the people in tourism industry will have to do? You mentioned before about the new challenges that
Yep.
we have in front of us.
Now, let me make an initial comment there. You know that we, as a company, we have developed a concept relating Greek gastronomy and Greek branded products with tourism. And we tend to work with people, hotels and destinations that want to promote their authenticity in any possible way, not only food, but culture, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Greece is, I mean, at a professional level within the associations, but also within the professionals and between people, and normal people, because 25% say 30% of Greek families depend on tourism one way or another. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so there is no family with every family in Greece has some kind of opinion about tourism. Now, problem is
The Greeks, they have an opinion for everything.
in any case, absolutely true. But there's a valid situation to have an opinion about something that you have a salary. I mean, in the house at the end of the day. Now the problem is that in Greece, because it's a unique. We're unique in any way, in any case, but because of this island complex we have in Greece.
Mm-hmm.
The composition of our destinations is very different than any other country in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly, I'm talking about the islands mostly.
Yes.
So, destination tourism is not one single and uniform thing in Greece. For instance, in terms of arrivals last year, I'll answer directly, but I want to make this introduction. Last year, the arrivals were very close to the not very optimistic scenario, say. But the people who did arrive initially last summer were not the typical tourists in Greece. Were people that drove from from the up north, from Bulgaria, Romania, Serbia, etc. People with very very important pandemic problems, huge outbreaks there. So we had some arrivals, but we imported more problems than money, in a way. So it's when we want to make this discussion say more seriously, we have to define what we mean by tourist, and it's not only one thing. My opinion is, and Hayata is absolutely right. We will have to decide what is the sustainable number of tourism, what is our business plan under the new conditions when it comes to tourism, how many tourism we can afford, and how much, what is our target for the 2 or 3 years. And this has to be communicated because we depend on airlines more than any other country in the Western world depending that much on tourism. Because Spain and Italy, etc., they do not depend that much on the airlines.
They do other things.
And people go there by car a lot, and that is one of the reasons that Barcelona had that big outbreak last summer. So there is not, what I'm saying actually is there is no one single answer for the whole problem. And that is the reason we have to work more, say, as a team. Sorry for saying that.
It's the time to learn how to work as a team.
And the most importantly, I have to emphasize that what Mr. Moschelos from London School of Economics said, we have to put together more disciplines to tackle the problem. We don't want just doctors or just medicine people or just a politician. We want many disciplines to solve a very complex problem. And that is the reason that because of the issues with airlines mainly, and how fragmented in terms of islands is our tourism sector. We need a huge effort to achieve something a little better than last year. And that's it. That's going to be for 21.
That's true. So as it seems, your Plan A, your project for authentic Greece med diet was a pioneer project. A lot of us, we have started to looking for the authentic, the original product and service. I watched your online workshop from the 100% hotel shows with a great panel.
November.
Tell us more about this idea, which is not new, but as I said, you are the pioneer.
Now, there are two elements. One, it's there from other people. Other people have worked about that. And it's how we can exploit further as a country, as a destination, as a country, not only tourism destination, how we can exploit the concept of Mediterranean diet and the Greek diet to an extent. We have left this field to the Italians. Most people abroad, when they hear
saying that, yes,
yeah. Which is, I think it's a, I mean, we have, I mean, it's a crime, honestly speaking. And it is a crime because the root of the Mediterranean diet is a simplicity, and it's based on the biodiversity, excuse me, which is a very strong weapon for Greece as a country. We are number 2 in Europe in terms of biodiversity indices. Now, med diet is a weapon well known abroad. We haven't exploited yet. Now, on top of that, we noticed that though gastronomy generally is something that many countries are trying to link it with tourism, because the gastronomy has it's a long-lasting experience. When you eat something, you remember. It's very simple. You use many senses and you remember it a lot. So many destinations have tried to link tourism with gastronomy. Now there is a problem there, with the exceptions of very few, not countries, but counties around Europe, very small spots and destinations. Very few spots have linked branded products with tourism and local gastronomy. When the hotels and destinations are talking about gastronomy, rarely they refer rarely to branded products. And if the products are not branded, you cannot build on top of based on them. You cannot build serious marketing activities. So what we did is we built a very wide collection of local products in Greece from all over the country, but in a branded way. So we tried to link this to build a concept in which we presented, say, our customers in the beginning was just Greek hotels, that they wanted to promote to their clients that they were really looking after the food they were putting on the table. Okay, so but to showcase what is the product and the producer and the artisan workshop, it's one thing. Second thing is to use the product outside the hotel, the 11 months of the year, to use the product as a tool to promote the hotel. Now, this was the concept of Authentic Greece. We were lucky enough last year to attract the attention of the Greek Hoteliers Federation, and with them we expanded the concept to promote not just hotels but whole destinations. So we started showcasing products from different parts of the country and the country as a whole at the same time. So the idea is to present the products properly in a branded way the minute they are consumed within a hotel, but also when the products are sold in food stores all around the world. The bet there, the real bet is to promote the destinations the minute you promote the products. That's basically the idea.
Great, congratulations about that. So
we'll see how it goes. It was the only thing that I would say the virus was a real opponent there. The COVID-19 was a real opponent, but we're catching up now.
Okay, great. So what we are waiting around the corner? I'm reading about mutations of the virus in England, about uncharted cases of asymptomatic people, and many more that makes me think that we have more miles to go. But I want to see everything in blue, so I'm gonna be optimistic. Τα καλύτερα έρχονται και ο κήπος πρέπει οπωσδήποτε να ανθίσει. What's your comment?
The garden is blooming, maybe. I'm not that optimistic, to be honest. I mean, I am optimistic in the sense that there are challenges to be solved. I mean, life, it's not an easy thing. I mean, we're not here just to, to have everything sorted out by itself. Mm-hmm. So I would say that what was happening before 2019, that was not normality. That is my opinion. That is my opinion. It's like imagining a stock market going up the whole time. I mean, it's impossible.
Impossible. Yes.
When sometimes there's no use crying when the stock market is going down. Mm-hmm. It would have happened. Sometimes it would happen.
Yes.
And I think it's the same thing that we have to think about the overall system. The whole system is a stock market. Life is with ups and downs, and I think that as the economy, our lives too. We have to adjust. Every generation had to adjust one way or another. We haven't lived the wars. Our parents have lived world wars, etc. And so there is no use of crying over the spoiled milk. I think I don't remember exactly the expression.
So this generation will remember the COVID. It's gonna have an example.
I'm not sorry for being then. I'm not that optimistic because we will not forget ever the COVID, because the COVID will not ever leave us entirely, so that we have the luxury to remember it from a distance. Mm-hmm. COVID or the restrictions that we have to impose or to accept are that many. Again, I will say, countries in Eastern Asia, after the SARS in like Taiwan or Singapore or whatever, they have changed their normal everyday life that much that it would be impossible for us to imagine this as a normality. But to an extent, I think that to an extent we will get there. And sorry for saying that. I think that we have to get there. Yes. And we should get there one way or another. The whole virus thing is the result of how we use the planet, or me use the planet for generations. Exactly. And now we're paying the bill. Now we're paying the bill. There is no point in refusing to pay the bill.
Yes, exactly. So your wishes for the 2021 that is coming?
As human, I'm very optimistic in the sense that the future is in our hands. Okay, and it is it's really optimistic. We can control the thing, and we can do it. I think to an extent we'll do it. Okay, in terms of deaths and sickness, etc., the worst is over. But new normality has to be earned. Really, we have to work for it hard. And what I'm trying to say to the people that I know, that my kids and everybody around me, is that we have to do this work. That's it. There's no shortcuts in life. Sorry.
That's true. Thank you so much. I wish you.